The modern world is a beautifully constructed yet incredibly fragile illusion. We sleep comfortably in our brightly lit, hyper-connected cities, entirely oblivious to the brutal realities that sustain our highly privileged way of life. We are held together by an invisible, highly complex web of international trade, artificial intelligence, and continuous energy consumption. We like to think that human progress is an unstoppable, invincible force of nature, a machine that simply cannot be turned off. But beneath this glittering, highly advanced facade, there are hidden geographic fault lines waiting to rupture at any given moment. It only takes one highly calculated military strike, one heavily contested maritime choke point, to bring the entire global economy to a devastating, irreversible halt. The chilling reality hidden by politicians and market analysts is that our advanced civilization is always just a few days of supply chain disruption away from absolute, terrifying darkness. Enter the imposing, heavily fortified Zagros Mountains. This is not just a natural border or a simple geological formation to be bypassed. It is a terrifying, impenetrable fortress carved by the relentless, grinding forces of nature over millions of years and meticulously weaponized by man over decades of absolute isolation. Deep beneath hundreds of meters of solid rock lies a highly classified, incredibly vast network of subterranean military bases and missile silos. These are self-sustaining underground cities of war, entirely disconnected from the vulnerability of the surface world. They are completely untouchable by conventional bunker-busting munitions and invisible to the most advanced satellite surveillance networks. It is an absolute nightmare for any invading ground force attempting to breach their layered defenses. Their military doctrine is not designed to win a traditional head-on symmetric war on a flat battlefield. That would be a mathematical impossibility. Instead, it is masterfully engineered for absolute, catastrophic, asymmetric disruption. They are purposefully targeting the very energy infrastructure and the shipping lanes that keep the surrounding nations and the global economy breathing. If they are pushed to the brink, their ultimate strategy is to drag the entire industrialized world down into the abyss alongside them. But their most terrifying, world-ending weapon isn't a hypersonic nuclear warhead or a classified stealth bomber hidden in the mountains. It is a narrow, highly treacherous artery of water known to the world as the Strait of Hormuz. This is, without a doubt, the single most critical geopolitical bottleneck on the face of the planet. Every single day, 33% of the world's seaborne crude oil and liquefied natural gas must pass through this incredibly tight, heavily monitored corridor. Shut this specific strait down, and the global economic dominoes immediately begin to fall in a spectacular, unstoppable chain reaction of panic and financial ruin. Thousands of massive merchant vessels and supertankers are instantly stranded in a hostile, contested sea. Global aviation routes freeze almost immediately due to severe jet fuel shortages, grounding thousands of flights worldwide. The sudden energy crisis triggers catastrophic inflation overnight, wiping out trillions of dollars in market value. Furthermore, hidden networks of smart sea mines deliberately scattered across the ocean floor, paired with explosive kamikaze drone swarms hunting autonomously from the skies above, make passing through these contested waters an act of pure suicide. The global economy is officially held hostage in a massive watery grave. Desperation on both sides of this conflict forces unthinkable apocalyptic moves. When nations face existential threats, the normal rules of engagement evaporate. Enter Kharg Island. It is a tiny speck of isolated land in the Persian Gulf. Yet this highly vulnerable island handles a staggering 90% of the nation's crude oil exports. It is the absolute beating heart of their economic survival and the primary funding source for their military. Seizing it could bankrupt the opposing regime almost instantly. But taking this island crosses a dangerous, highly volatile red line in global geopolitics. It risks cutting off the primary oil source for incredibly powerful global superpowers whose economies rely heavily on this continuous energy flow. A preemptive strike on Kharg Island is a direct threat that risks awakening sleeping military giants across the globe, pulling them directly into the uncontrollable chaos of a third world war. In the silent geometry of warfare, every single tactical move carries a terrifying consequence. The chessboard is set. Are you truly ready for the dark?